legs and back.
So the total back.
Total back.
Width and
yes.
thickness.
Thickness and width, yes.
Yeah.
And legs, yeah. Everything else is great.
Ugh. The head judge of the Olympia told me my back needs to be bigger, both in width and thickness. So today I'm gonna do 3 movements to show you guys exactly how to achieve that. A bigger back in general. Let's go. Go! So I like to start this workout with a V-bar or a narrow grip pull down. Why? A narrow grip pulls your elbows closer towards the middle line of your body, stretching out the lats. So when you go all the way up, you get an enormous stretch in the lats. What does a stretch do? It grows the muscle. It gives the stimulus for muscle growth. And what does it also do? It creates the V taper. So for a lat spread, front relax, the back bicep, you need a V taper to be there, and the only way to get that is with big lats. And how to grow big lats? To make them stretch, which is what this first movement is perfect for. Ugh. I can feel the carbs rushing into my body as I had a pre-workout snack when heading to the gym. The new cookie dough flavor designer bar is incredible, guys. If you like protein bars, it has been released today during ESN week with the highest possible discounts. Only this week. I normally don't keep repeating myself, but it's so important. If you need supplements, if you need to restock anyway, this is your sign, and use code Wesley for the maximum golden discount. And thank you very much for the golden support. So what you really want to take care of is the full stretch at the top. You can see my arms are fully stretched and the lats are fully stretched as well. This will give the ultimate stimulus for muscle growth for the back. However, when you want to go all the way down, you want to feel the contraction in the lower back and the lower lats. So the elbows have to be nice and close to the body, basically, to the waist, to the hips, to ensure the contraction of the lats. So here you can feel both the stretch and a contraction to get a really good start of this back workout going. So the most common mistake, and this is what you want to avoid with this back movement and pretty much any other back movement, is not finishing the stretch. A lot of people, they like to go nice and heavy, so they go upwards, but keep their arms almost at 45 degrees and go back down. There's kind of like a jerking motion. You know, kind of doesn't work anything completely. It messes up the biceps, the tendons. You don't want this. You want a full stretch in the back. You want elongated arms, but a lot of people neglect this for sure, so skip that mistake, guys. So before doing the first movement, I want to give you a nice tip. A lot of people on this T-bar row, you have this pad. It can be quite tough on the chest, on the breathing pattern when you're doing a lot of weight. So I use this nice, firm, kind of loose mat. You can place it kind of exactly on the pressure point. It will relieve pressure off of your rib cage and makes it a lot more comfortable to do this T-bar row. Alright, so this is the T-bar row. It is chest supported, so it's a machine. You can choose this machine or with a free barbell, which you used to do in the past. But when you get very strong, your lower back will be the weak link in the chain. You want the weak link to be the upper back, the shoulder girdle, basically, because here you want to go all the way down, but when you go up, you want to squeeze your shoulder blades together. You want to work on the trap back thickness. So the first one, we worked on the V taper, the back width, and this one is for the back thickness. So right now, this is going to be nice and heavy, but what you really want to make sure is that when you go all the way down, you want to be able to get all the way up as well. You will go too heavy if you don't go all the way up anymore. So let's give this one a try. Ooh, that's heavy. So a lot of people think the traps are this part only. So for shrugs, you work the traps, you only work this part. Either it's going to go higher or stay low. That's, however, a very small part of the whole picture. With this T-bar row, you actually work the traps as well, because the traps go down quite a lot, down your back, to create that upper back thickness in general. So when people say they're working the traps, if they're correct, they will mean the whole back thickness to really are responsible for the shoulder retraction, the shoulder blade retraction. So that's why it's so important to really retract the shoulder blades on this movement. Yeah. Ugh. Most common mistake I see on this T-bar row machine is the grip, guys. You want the grip when you go all the way up. You want this arm to be all the way straight, because gravity is going straight down. When you go up, you want that arm to be straight. However, a lot of people hold it either way too narrow, and it kind of turns into like a bicep curl, as you can see. So this causes bicep tendonitis. If you hold it way too wide, it's really gonna limit your strength. So you kind of want to hold it in between. What I like to do, usually what works, is put your thumb near the start of the handle and then just grab it that far. Then put your thumb over it, kind of like a hook grip. And then usually you're in your strongest position. Your lower arm will be exactly pointing towards the bottom, the gravity, which is where the tension will be maximized in your back, and not the biceps and not the forearm. So just like this. So now it's time for the third movement. This will take a lot more boxes than one, because this won't have a chest support. It is still a machine, but this is a seated row without a chest support, meaning the lower back is also involved. However, I'm using two handles, or you can call it a bilateral seated row, which means you're using both arms, but they're free from each other, so it's not one big handle. That means you can really squeeze the back together. Here, the shoulder blades also play a role in basically retracting, but now the tension is shifted to the middle back. So not the upper back, but more of the middle back thickness here. You will also feel the lats. So if you keep the elbows relatively closer to your body, you will also hit the lats and the thickness at the same time, as well as the erector muscles that are responsible for the lower back thickness as well around your spine. So if you don't do this movement and you only stick to chest supported ones, your lower back will suffer. Now you might think you could do a bent over row. That is very true, but it's one rigid bar and that doesn't allow for the freedom of motion. And you know, when you get stronger and stronger, it will kinda have a chance to injure your lower back, for example, as you're less stable as on a seated row like this. It is a classic movement, but if you want to be smart and have more longevity in the sport, switch up your bent over row with the seated row like this. So let's do this. Okay. Oh. Nice and heavy. Also very important, keep your back nice and straight. Keep your legs bent like this to protect your lower back. And that way you will kind of protect and work on the lower back at the same time. The most common mistake that I see here is when people, they lean back way too far. For example, they do this, they like to do this, and then they go all the way forward. This doesn't really work much. It kind of forces an injury to happen in the lower back. This is what they used to do back in the day, for example, really row it like this. But it doesn't isolate the back at all. You can isometrically contract the lower back like this to work on it, and then safely contract here and stretch here. You don't have to do all the way here, this, because it stretches the lower back way too much. It impinges it, Not good for the nerves in the spine right there. So stay nice and upright, chest up, shoulders back, and this is the correct way to do it. Also with the bend in the legs to protect the lower back. So people usually ask me, do you have to work the lower back separately with like a hyperextension or something like this, or even a good morning? In my opinion, it is not necessary. If you do at least 1 or 2 movements without a chest support in your workout with correct form, keep your lower back tight and contracted, you won't need an exercise like the hyperextension to work on the lower back, in my opinion, unless it's a super weak point and you need to work on the balancing things out. But otherwise, I think like a seated row like this will work the lower back just fine. Go! Woo! Yes, guys, these are 3 of the movements I like to do to impress the Mr. Olympia head judge, Steve Weinberger, with an improved back for the next major competition. Try out these 3 movements and you will feel a pump in your back from top to bottom. Oh, and before I forget, guys, what I'm wearing right now, Abel, of course, me and Abel are working together, and with code Wesley, you can get the maximum discount on Abel as well to show off your incredible back, or a t-shirt, tank top, stringer, trousers, joggers, doesn't even matter. They have it all. I put my stamp of approval upon them. I'm very proud of this. And of course, do not forget to stay golden.
They been on their ass, bitch, I'm on the rail. I wrap it, I bag it, I pack it for sale. Got feeling on speed out, hit me to chill. I give it a thrill, I put it on film. Niggas facade, get applaud, that ain't real. Come to my section and flex, we can tell. I got a show and she dipping them nails. I'm flipping my L's, I know they can tell. I did it too major, they hit me for favors. Been him since the cable was cut in the cradle. What's up, only right that I do it. Colossal until I'm